Hello, and welcome back to my GTNH playthrough. It is Tuesday, March 17th, and we are looking at a ton of power failures. Looks like the water line power failed. Jeez, everything power failed. That's not surprising that all these power failed. I gotta come over here. They're probably all running, which is the sad part, because I think they're all on the on-off switch. Yeah, so they're all running. It's basically what happened. I'm actually going to shut this off for this whole area off for the moment. Then I don't want to clear the power fails just yet. I literally just got home from work and logged in. I was like, oh, let's see how bad it's going to be. It is, yesterday did a bunch of random stuff, but nothing like really cohesive. So I started to make a video, but I don't know, it was kind of, wasn't really feeling it, so to speak, just because of how rambly it was. So figured I'd come back today after I got some more done, and then work got busy, yada yada, and I just left the game running all day. And you can see one of my kind of side projects I need to fix right now is power generation, as all these power failures show. But so the only real thing I'm worried about though is power fails list. Let's see if I want to clear it, because the one thing I want to check out is whether or not all these guys are currently running. Actually, you know what? There's an easier way. Overthinking this. So the reason we're having power failure issues, so I remember the last time we talked, I got up to 1 billion EU per tick and set up some extra XL turbines, but it is not actually that, although we aren't keeping up with celestial tungsten for unknown reasons. Still, I haven't figured out why my level maintainers aren't working right with the compact fusion reactor, and it's like doing weird duplicate recipes. But one of the ways to tell whether any of the void miners failed is to come over here, because yep, got stuff. Each one of these chests represents one. So as long as there's items coming in, they are all running. Oh, okay. I was running. Good. Okay, so they are all running, so that's good. So I don't mind. Once I go around and click on a few other specific things, I'll just clear the list. But until I do that, just ignore all the flashing power failing going on in the background and kind of go through what I did today. Or most of this was yesterday, because I didn't really end up getting to play today. The big thing was I set up this space assembler module. I'm currently working towards a couple things at the moment, one of which is the UIV circuit mainframe here. This is one I want to make progress on. I want to get this, that we can start like this. I believe this little side quest thing here, I should say this little grouping of items, I think is going to turn into a giant side quest to get all this stuff. I'm pretty sure these 4 are at the very least required, because of my understanding of the other dragon you have to kill is it will just kill you instantly, no matter what armor you're wearing, if you're not wearing this armor. That's at least my understanding. I could be wrong there, but you're not too far. I shouldn't say too far off from this. We're not too far off from unlocking the quest to get to there, which is this. And to get to this, I wanted to do some general upgrades, because as you can see, I've gotten these 2 quests, which are the raw exposed optical chip, which obviously I had to do this new form of wafer to get to, just from that quest book. And then this special RAM over here, which is where this guy comes in. I'll get to the other stuff in a second, but this space module is honestly pretty straightforward to set up. The only thing I haven't tested, just because I set this up, was actually the last thing I did yesterday, so I didn't get to test if this works without computation, because it doesn't show computation in the recipes. I just kind of assumed it needed it. But honestly, other than that, it's a pretty straightforward. You set it up the same as any other multi-block. In this case, got a dual interface coming in, fluid storage, item storage. And then I was a little confused because it wasn't starting for a while, but that was because I was being a doofus and you need an output bus as well, obviously, to get the recipes to work. And I haven't checked to see if there's any that have like output fluid as well. For the moment, I only have 2 recipes in here, so I didn't mess around with that. But other than that, it's pretty straightforward. You don't need to do anything fancy. You really just do your normal patterns and stuff and throw it in one of the space elevator slots. So that was cool. To get to this point, though, there was a couple things I set up as well over in this tower. No, what is this tower? Because they're more auto crafting stuff. Yeah, so up here, I set up a couple random things. Which is, by random things, it's these 4. So the reason I did this forge hammer here is because, one, it needed to be UEV power, and that area down there where my main one is cramped, and I was just annoyed and I didn't want to mess with it. So I did this one. And to get the raw exposed optical chips, you need to run it through a sledgehammer with tier 7 water. So it was a good thing we did the water line last week. I knew it was needed somewhere in this step, just kind of from like the past quest lines, but ran into it pretty much almost immediately. So that's where this guy was used. Then these 3 laser engravers basically make up everything we need for getting for this one. This is the photonically enhanced wafer, which is not to be confused with the main wafer. If we go wafer, with the first one we have to get is the photonically prepared wafer, which runs through a cutting machine with some water, the grade 7 water specifically, so we need it here again. But then you can run this guy through, we got a few different choices. One of which is, I'm explaining this badly, I apologize. So this guy just needs raw exposed optical chips with the water and the sledgehammer. This guy is changing the regular optical wafer into the photonically enhanced one with, again, its recipe. Here is we got the wafer, some nanites, some tin plasma, and the Oganison, which is the highest tier noble gas. So just standard setup for a multi-block here. And then the thing it uses as its like laser lens is a solar light splitter, which is also used in a different recipe in this line, which is where this guy comes in, and as well as this guy over here. So this laser engraver is only to make go to the lens, this solar light splitter one, because you need these different spectral components. And again, these all run through a laser engraver with the irradiant glass. So it's just the 3 recipes here, just into its own dedicated laser engraver. Might even, depending on how fast the circuits need to be, have to split this out eventually. But for the moment, it should be fine, because usually for the newer mainframes, not making a ton of them right off the bat. And then this last laser engraver over here is specifically for making the photonically prepared one, which is specifically the bull, I don't know how to say it, but you have to run an Americanium one through with these 3 lenses and some UU matter. Luckily, we have plenty of UU matter because of the passive setup over there. I don't know how far 58 million will get us long term. I might need to do some more infrastructure upgrade over there. But yeah, so this all set up to get us this optical bull. Apologize if that's wrong. And then to cut it, I finally did, because it seemed like the perfect time now that we needed to add yet another cutting recipe with higher tier water. I set up a new grouping of cutting machines. I had laid these out before, but I hadn't finished setting them up. I ended up the way I've got them set up is essentially just a bunch of dual interfaces in to HV input blocks, the output up top, and then down below, I'm just taking advantage of the stocking input hatch. I'm not being particularly channel efficient over here, but it's okay because it is kind of convenient to have both lubricant and all the different levels of water that I actually need over here just in one input hatch without having to like export it, because export buses seem to randomly glitch out on me and then I run into problems like this, all these power failures. So I got all this set up, and then once I got all that set up, I was able to run this recipe. For the immediate future, the next thing I want to tackle, besides taking care of clearing all these power fails and making sure there's nothing like properly broken going on, I want to fix the compact reactor so that it's passively making celestial tungsten. That's how I'm going to supercharge my power production until I get access to the higher Nequata fuels, which I know it needs UMV power. So I haven't dug too deeply into tier 4 fuel, but I really want to get that compact reactor set up better and not rely on the level maintainers, because I think it's just going to keep causing me problems if I don't address it now. So I'm going to do that first. Next up on the list after that, if I get that done, I'm going to work on that tonight. I don't have anything else going on, so that'll be what I do. Plus, I'm itching to play a little since I didn't play all day today. I want to get these optical SMDs set up. And then lastly, I started crafting. We got these PCB factory tier 2s. Actually started crafting, and then I ran into a couple issues. It wasn't too big of a deal, but I had to cancel the craft before all these power failure things going on. I do have the ability to craft these radiation casings. Wait, why can't I craft? Oh no, that's what it was. So I started to try to craft these guys because aside from this needing UIV power, which I didn't realize I got because I had put it into the regular assembly machine I had. I actually have plenty of items to be able to make the casings to make the tier 3 factory, which is this bigger guy. So I want to, while I'm at it, rework the current PCB factories, change them all to tier 3, get the nanite buses in them, get nanites in them so they're paralyzed, because I do wait on PCB circuit boards at the moment. So get all that as part of setting up for this new optical circuit board. But yeah, this will be third on the list. Said fix the compact reactor, get the new optical SMDs, get these guys all set up, and then from there work the, in theory, simple part from there should just be the optical circuits, which should be no different setting up, I imagine. Let's see, just optical SMD, assembly line, ASOC. I'm pretty sure I have all this. Make sure. I'm pretty sure I have ASOC as my crazy. Oh yeah, so that's already set up because I have the beamline. So yeah, once I get those three things, which mind you, the compact reactor and the PCB factories will take a little bit longer, mainly. But I say it out loud because of how long those casings are. I might set up the assembler first that's going to craft those just to get them running, so I'm not waiting on them later. Then work on the compact reactor. Maybe I'll do that order and then come to the optical SMDs last, because honestly, that part should be really fast to set those up. But yeah, anyways, I've been kind of doing a little bit of rambling. Yeah, I'm going to let you go and go address all these power issues that are making my base look sad. Hope everybody had a good day and has a good night, and I will see you tomorrow. Goodbye.